Let's talk about stress eating. You know those moments when stress seems to knock at your door and suddenly you find yourself reaching for the bag of chips or the pint of ice cream? It turns out there's more to this than just a simple craving. It is fascinating to see how stress intertwines with our eating habits. Acute stress might lead to a loss of appetite for some, while others may find themselves reaching for comfort food. Chronic stress, on the other hand, tends to have a more consistent impact, often pushing individuals toward unhealthy eating patterns or irregular meal schedules. There's a reason we often crave specific foods during stressful times. It is not just a coincidence. Hormones like cortisol influence our cravings, often steering us towards sugary or high fat foods. Understanding this connection is crucial for breaking the cycle of stress eating. Let's look into the psychology of stress eating. Emotions play a pivotal role in influencing our food choices. When we experience stress, emotions like anxiety, sadness, or frustrations can become overwhelming. In an attempt to soothe these emotions, we often turn to food as a source of comfort and distractions. It is like seeking solace in the familiar tastes and textures of our favorite treats. But it is not just about seeking comfort. There's also a biological aspect to stress eating. When we consume certain foods, especially those high in sugars and fats, our brain releases neurotransmitters like dopamine that are associated with pleasure and reward. This creates a temporary sense of relief, making the act of eating feel like a reward and providing a momentary escape from stress. And over time, stress eating can become a habitual response to emotional distress. Our brains form connections between stress and the act of eating, creating a conditioned response. This can lead to a cycle where stress triggers the desire to eat, and the act of eating becomes a coping mechanism, reinforcing the behavior. Besides that, societal and cultural factors play a role in shaping our emotional connections to food. For many, certain foods are associated with positive memories or cultural celebrations, making them a go-to choice during times of stress. The act of sharing comfort food with others can also be a social bonding experience. Stress eating is often characterized by a lack of mindfulness. During stressful moments, we may eat impulsively without paying attention to hunger cues or nutritional needs. This lack of awareness can contribute to overeating and, in the long run, affect both mental and physical well-being. The psychology of stress eating is a multifaceted interplay between emotions, biology, habits, and cultural influences. By understanding these factors, we can begin to unravel the complexity of our relationship with food during stressful times. Now, let's look into hormones and stress eating. Let's start by addressing the star of the show, cortisol, known as the stress hormone. Cortisol plays a pivotal role in our body's response to stress. When we encounter a stressful situation, whether it is work-related pressure or a personal challenge, our body kicks into action, releasing cortisol into our bloodstream. So, how does cortisol influence our eating habits during times of stress? Well, it is like a domino effect. When cortisol levels rise, it can trigger an increase in appetite. This biological response stems from our primal instincts, a survival mechanism ingrained in us from our ancestors. During time of stress, the body will prepare for potential scarcity by encouraging us to consume more calories, hence the heightened appetite. Imagine cortisol as the conductor of a symphony, orchestrating various physiological responses. One of these responses is the activation of the brain's reward centers, leading to specific cravings. Ever found yourself reaching for that bag of potato chips or a chocolate bar after a particular stressful day? Well, you can thank cortisol for those intense cravings. It is interesting how stress doesn't just make us hungry, it shapes our preference for certain types of food. Research suggests that cortisol, along with other stress hormones, influences our choice of comfort foods, often those high in sugar, fat, and salt. These foods activate the brain's pleasure centers, providing a temporary sense of relief from stress. Let's talk about the impact of stress eating on health. First and foremost, weight gain. Stress eating often involves indulging in high calorie, sugary, or fatty foods. These choices can lead to an increase in calorie intake, ultimately contributing to unwanted weight gain. The body's response to stress, particularly the release of cortisol, can also stimulate fat storage, especially around the abdominal area. So, not only are we consuming more calories, but our bodies are also more prone to storing them. But it is not just about the numbers on the scale. Stress eating can wreak havoc on our digestive system. When we are stressed, our bodies divert resources away from processes like digestion, focusing instead on the immediate stress response. This can lead to issues like indigestion, bloating, and discomfort. Not only that, the types of foods often chosen during stress eating, high in sugar and fat, can contribute to digestive problems, exacerbating the overall impact on our gut health. Beyond the immediate physical effects, stress eating can disrupt our nutritional balance. The foods we turn to during stress are low in essential nutrients. Think about it. When was the last time you reached for a salad in the midst of a stressful day? Unfortunately, it is more likely to be something processed, high in sugars or salt. This can create imbalance in essential nutrients, affecting everything from energy levels to immune functions. So, as we navigate the demands of our daily life, it is crucial to recognize that stress eating isn't just a fleeting indulgence. It has a real, tangible consequences for our health. Weight gain, digestive issues, and nutrients imbalance can collectively create a snowball effect, impacting our overall well-being. Breaking the cycle of stress eating can be challenging, but it is definitely possible with some intentional strategies. Here are some practical steps to help you break free from stress-induced eating patterns. First, identify triggers. Pay attention to the situations or emotions that trigger stress eating. Recognizing these triggers is the first step in addressing the behavior. Next, practice mindfulness. Engage in mindfulness techniques such as deep breathing or meditation or mindful eating to become more aware of your thoughts and emotions. This can help you respond to stress in a more conscious way rather than turning to food automatically. You can also keep a food journal. Track your eating habits in a journal. Note when and why you eat, along with your emotions at the time. This can provide insights into patterns and help you make more mindful choices. Instead of relying on food for comfort, develop a list of alternative activities that bring you joy or relaxation. These could include going for a walk, reading a book, practicing a hobby, or talking to a friend. Next is to establish regular eating patterns. Maintain regular meal times and include a balance of nutrients in your diet. This can help stabilize blood sugar levels and reduce the likelihood of stress-induced cravings. Another tip is to stock healthy snacks. Keep nutritious snacks readily available. If you do feel the need to snack, opt for healthier options like fruits, vegetables, nuts, or yogurt. Also, drink plenty of water throughout the day. Dehydration can sometimes be mistaken for hunger, and staying hydrated supports overall well-being. Another important strategy is to seek emotional support. Talk to friends, family, or a mental health professional about your stresses. Sometimes, addressing the underlying emotional issues can reduce the urge to cope with stress through eating. Exercise is a great stress reliever. Find activities you enjoy and make them a regular part of your routine. Physical activity can help regulate mood and reduce stress level. One very important strategy is to practice self-compassion. Be kind to yourself, understanding that breaking habits takes time and setbacks may happen. Instead of self-criticism, focus on learning from each experience and making positive changes moving forward. Set realistic goals for managing stress and breaking the cycle of stress eating. Small, gradual changes are more sustainable than attempting major overhauls. If stress eating is significantly impacting your well-being, consider seeking support from a registered dietitian, therapist, or counselor. They can provide personalized guidance and strategies. Addressing stress in a healthy way is paramount, whether it is through mindfulness practices, regular exercise, or seeking support from friends, families, or professionals. Finding what works for you is crucial. And if you ever feel overwhelmed, don't hesitate to reach out for professional help. Thank you for joining us today. If you find this episode helpful, don't forget to share to people around you. This is Ping, your health psychologist. I will see you on the next episode. Till then, take care of your mind and body.